Okay, so we know the United States loves making everything about themselves and they're the center of the world. And you can see it in Hollywood. I mean, two movies that come to my mind right away are Argo and Tears of the Sun. In fact, the movie Tears of the Sun, the Navy SEALs weren't even involved. It was actually Joint Task Force 2. But Hollywood had to make the US look like the hero. And same for the movie Argo. I mean, Canadians did the heavy lifting. But going to the present day with the wildfires happening on both sides of the border, this underplaying of Canadian involvement is still happening. Because a Canadian citizen named Nicholas Dale from British Columbia lost his life when the helicopter crashed when he was helping the fires in Colorado. Not Canadian fires, US fires. And the United States, they accepted his help. They accepted his courage. But when it came time for US government officials to pay tribute to Nicholas Dale, they forgot something. What did they forget? They forgot to mention that he was Canadian. If you look at this tweet right now that's on the screen, it's from Republican Jeff Hurd. And let me read out the tweet for you in case you're just listening or visually impaired. Every wildfire season, aerial firefighters put their lives in harm's way to protect our communities and support the men and women on the ground battling these dangerous fires. Today, we mourn the loss of Nicholas Dale, who gave his life while supporting response efforts on the Gold Mountain fire. My prayers were with his family and loved ones, his fellow aviators, and everyone in the wildlands firefighting community grieving this tragic loss. Nicholas answered the call to serve others. Knowing the risks that come with the service, we are grateful for his sacrifice and we honor his memory. Now, if you're just listening, there's a photo that comes with it. And in the photo, there's a procession of fire trucks and a stupid amount of American flags. If this was going to be a movie, I would just picture Armageddon, where the America saves the world. But what I just read out to you from Republican Jeff Hurd, it makes it sound like Nicholas is from the US. He's not. And let me read this out and tell everybody who Nicholas Dale is. The pilot who died in the helicopter crash while fighting a Colorado fire has been named as Nicholas Dale of Sooke, British Columbia. Dale, 56, died when his helicopter crashed into the Silverjack Reservoir on Monday while fighting what authorities have named the Gold Mountain Fire. The local Gunnison County Sheriff Office said his body was later recovered from the submerged helicopter by divers. Now, this article was created by The Guardian, and they do mention that he was a Canadian. And to give credit where it's due, state media in Colorado also acknowledged that Canadians have also helped. And it is appreciated that thousands of US citizens are honoring the Canadian firefighter. So if you are watching from Colorado, it is much appreciated. But this tweet here from Republican Rep Jeff Hurd is rubbing Canadians the wrong way, and I'm not the only one. And for me, this is just my personal opinion. The lack of mentioning that Nicholas is from Canada kind of shows how the Republicans see us. And this right here is Jeff Hurd. Honest mistake. But this tweet right here kind of gives me the same vibe as sensationalizing the United States. And I'm going to read out some of the responses from Canadians when they saw this tweet. This one's from Angel, and she says, "Today, we mourn the loss of Canadian Nicholas Dale, a Canadian who sadly lost his life fighting fires in the US. Fixed it for you." This next one is from D. Goad. "Nicholas Dale was a Canadian firefighter fighting the wildfire in Colorado. You forgot that part." This next one is from Heather Clemenceau. "Even after someone gives their life protecting communities, you still can't resist making the story about you. Dale was Canadian. The least you could do is get the flag right. You are erasing and misinterpreting his identity. But what else can we expect from deceitful Americans?" This next one is from TJ Notes. And by the way, all of these responses I'm reading out are responses to... I forgot the guy's name already. This Republican guy. TJ Notes says, "So utterly disgusting. Couldn't fly a single Canadian flag for the Canadian who gave his life helping the United States." This next one is from Go Jets Go. I'm assuming he's from Winnipeg. "Did you seriously not mention he was a Canadian down there helping you? What a chicken shit thing to do. Unreal." The next one is from Joy Henderson. She says, "Where was he from, Jeff?" And the one after that, Chrissy Catnip. "Interesting that you chose to omit that this brave man was Canadian." This next one is from Sue Connell. "Hey, ungrateful MAGA loser. Firefighter that lost his life battling Colorado's wildfire is Canadian Nicholas Dale from British Columbia. As a good neighbor who is helping fight Gold Mountain fire when helicopters crash. So you, orange guy, may want to reflect about your smoke comments." And to be honest, I think this is why so many Canadians are pissed off right now. Because while our Canadian firefighters are helping in the United States, US government officials are starting to tear of us because of our fires, and that we're ruining their summer. I'm going to talk about that more towards the end of the video. This next one is from Jen, and she gives a very polite Canadian response. "Thank you for the condolences, but perhaps you could have given all the information and mentioned that Nicholas Dale was a Canadian pilot helping fight your fires, and he lost his life. How about a thank you to this Canadian hero by actually acknowledging where he's from?" This next one is from someone called How Did All the Village Idiots Get Out at Once? And he says, yes, a great Canadian sacrificed his life to fight a Colorado wildfire. This is what neighbors do. Answer the call when you're in need. Not what you mega clowns do when it comes to Canada's wildfires. Learn to work with your neighbors because you'll never know when you'll need us. I've mentioned my stance on that on my last 2 videos, so I think everybody knows where I stand on that. I'll read out a few more and I'm going to give my thoughts on this. There's like hundreds of them. Next one's from Lindsay. He was Canadian. As your horror story of a government threatens us again. Odd that you didn't mention that a Canadian man gave his life to help his supposed friends. Next one's from Megan. Thank you, Canada, for all your assistance fighting our country's wildfires. Is that so hard for you folks? Next one's from Robert Duval. Requested a community note due to misleading message, implying an American died. What we have come to expect from America, where you think your own people die in service are losers. Pathetic congressman. Next one's from Apples and Bananas. No one there even flew a Canadian flag for him? Wouldn't be the first time America stole Canadians' valor in the media. Shame on you. It does bring up a good point. Next one's from SportsGirl87. You truly are a piece of shit for not mentioning that he was a Canadian I think she meant that came from Canada to help and died. Alright, a few more and I'm going to move on. This next one's from Sue Rao. Imagine being such a gigantic asshole that you neglect to mention that the firefighter who lost his life fighting the Gold Mountain Fire was Canadian. Instead, members of your party want to penalize Canada for wildfire smoke as if a boreal forest can be raked. Too stupid for words. Next one's from Coffee. Viva la Canada. Nicholas Dale was Canadian firefighter from BC. America burns. Canada sends help. Canada burns. America sends complaints and threats. We are not the same. And last one's from Richard Knack. Canadian firefighter dies helping USA. Republicans and Taco Tuesday attack Canada. And Canadians about smoke in the air. Despicable statement from Taco Tuesday. What I just read out to you is just a handful of the responses to this Republican Hurd. Republican Jeff Hurd. That's what I wanted to say. But you can clearly see here that Canadians are pissed off. And yes, this topic is under the microscope right now. Especially when we're being accused of ruining the United States summer. And the sad part about this is not just the Republican side omitting that Canada is helping. Democratic Governor Jared Polis of Colorado also fails to mention that he's from Canada. And Canadians are also noticing as well. This one's from JD. No mention that he's Canadian either. Now, Canadians, we're not looking for recognition. But I think Apples and Bananas' message to Republican Jeff Hurd. Why do I keep saying turd? I think Apples and Bananas' message really kind of resonated with me. Because this person says, it wouldn't be the first time that Americans stole Canadian valor in the media. Making a Canadian death about American patriotism. If this happened 2 or 3 years ago, it might not be under the microscope as much as it is right now. But with the United States blaming Canada for the smoke, I think many Canadians are calling out their bullshit. And the comments I just read out proves it. I mean, if this was an Australian or New Zealand firefighter, and they conveniently forgot to mention that they're from Australia or New Zealand, I'm pretty sure our Commonwealth cousins would be pissed off as well. I mean, hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Hollywood decided to make a movie about this and omit the fact that the pilot was Canadian. It's sad that this is even a topic. I mean, all Republican Jeff Hurd and Governor Jared Polis had to do was say that Nicholas Dale was a Canadian. But for some reason, it's so damn hard for them to do that. And I respect every single Canadian that replied to Jeff Hurd's message. It clearly shows that Canadians are not going to take their bullshit anymore. And to my haters that are going to say, oh, GTL, you're just spreading propaganda and hate between our countries. No, I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm making sure that Nicholas Dale gets the proper recognition that he deserves, and not being framed as an American hero. He was a Canadian firefighter that continued to help a country that is trying to take us over. That is the real story. Not the story that Jeff Hurd and the governor, I forgot his name already, are trying to portray as an American hero. May you rest in peace, Nicholas Dale, and every Canadian is proud of you, even if the United States won't recognize your nationality. Closing out this video, I would like to thank SV Curler from our Discord server for posting this photo of Corner Brook in Newfoundland and Labrador. I think it's been a little while since I posted a photo from Newfoundland and Labrador, so I really thank you, SV Curler, for posting this in the Discord server. Alright, everyone, I think that's it for this video. I actually wanted to read out more of the comments, but if you want to see the comments yourself, you can check out the tweet below. I'll leave it in the description below. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective, without the US media bullshit, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all as well. Now, if you want to see my other 2 videos regarding the forest fire situation, they're going to show up on your screen shortly. So check it out if you have time. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next one.